Dave Snyder here. It is February the 8th, I do believe, 2013, 9:48 a.m. in California. Okay, so I want to show you what you need to look for when you're looking for these, if you're looking at all, and you just have to get the best lunar images you can get of basically. Let's just go look at the moon real quick. I'll show you here. Turn the weather off. Go to the moon. Now this is the worst representation of the moon you will ever see. Google Moon is just complete. I can't say complete garbage. I shouldn't say that because I have used it to confirm a lot of things, and I started out using this, but you can see there's no detail on Google Moon. These craters, if you've ever looked at the moon with the telescope, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, this side of the moon is the side we see. When you look at it with the telescope, you see super huge, highly defined, very sharp edges on these craters. I mean, with the telescope, even binoculars, you can see that. I mean, and then this is the only strip they give you that you can get in detail on this. This is what they look like, actually. When you look at it with the telescope, that's what they look like. If you have a good enough telescope, I mean. They'll be like this, but they'll be real small. If you don't have a good telescope, they'll be really small, but they'll still be highly defined like this, right? And that's all they give you on Google Moon, that strip right there. Why is that? Because if they gave us the perfect images, then we would just all know this already. We would all know this. Okay, so what you want to look for, anyways, let me turn off the gallery here. This is obviously the side that faces us, and it's obviously, it looks to me like it's probably the last part of the Earth, or the moon, that hit the Earth. This seems to be the last impact right here. Or they say Tycho was the last impact on the moon. And that's very possible. I mean, here it is right here. You can see it's not just this right here, people. People think that that's the impact. That's the center of the impact, but the whole thing goes like this. Look at that. That's the whole thing. That's the whole impact. The whole Earth practically hitting right there. Okay, because that's right there. You can find this crater right at Hawaii, the Hawaiian island chain. These lines right here. That's what formed the Hawaiian island chain. Or I shouldn't say form it. But that they follow those islands when it hits. It stops and creates those lines or something. Okay, but look, this is a whole impact. This is one big impact right here. Okay? That's one giant impact. And then you go over here, this is one big impact, but a lot of it's been covered, as you can see, by the most recent impact over here. The side that faces us for a reason. Some kind of magnetic attraction is why that side always faces us. It's got to be. Okay, or it could be gravitational, call it whatever, but I think it's magnetic because it likes to hit the poles of the Earth. Okay, that's what they show. Okay, but this one's been covered up, but this is a huge impact. It's not. This is just the center. You'll see that the centers are like this big all the time, but this, I mean, not this big, because they're saying this is only like 500 miles, but it's like 3,500 miles. This is one big impact. You can't think that these hit individually to create this big dark area right here. This is one big impact, and it even it goes out a little further than this. This is what's left, what you can see. It's bigger. This is one big impact right here, just like that. You see it? I mean, it has to be, unless they all just rain down on this area right here. A whole bunch of them rain down on this area, and they just made that one circular shape. They wouldn't even. I mean, if it did that, it wouldn't be a circular shape. It'd be random edges. It'd be square over here and jagged or whatever. If that was the case. It had to be molten all at one time. This area had to be molten all at one time, right, to create that big circle. Okay, then you got Mare Australe, same thing. This is this big. You see the whole thing is like this. Okay, South Pole, huge, not the size they say. This crater right here, right now in the weather up at the North Pole. Well, I shouldn't say right now. Last night you could see this part. See this crater, and you see this part that comes out right here. It kind of opens up, and has this thing that flows out, and it does the same thing right here a little bit. Well, in my last video, I showed, you can see that. I showed that. I said in the video, look at, there's the Schrodinger crater, and there's the part that comes off the side of it. That's the part that comes off the side of it, or this side, one of these sides, and that one that I showed you. I just showed you for a second, but that's what I'm trying to say. This right here, unless you think that a whole bunch of meteors or asteroids or comets or whatever rain down here and just in this one area in the circular shape, just like you drew a bullseye there, and they all hit that same spot to create that big dark area all at one time. Then you got, these things coming out the side. You can find this on the Earth. This is on the Earth. You can find that on the Earth. Africa, South America. Here's another one. This one here. This is just the center. Remember, the centers are like this big. When it hits, I think when it hits the land, it creates centers like this, and then the outer, and then the outer part. But when it hits the ocean, I think I'm not really sure, but I think it turns out more like a Tycho impact, like this. That's just a guess. But these lines, all these lines you see here, these are all on the Earth, over by Indonesia. These lines are all over by Indonesia right here. I'm sure of it. Just reverse these. You want to take this area, as soon as you figure out where the centers are, you can take and save those pictures of this. But you won't be able to get another picture from anywhere else on the internet of this whole side of the moon in good detail. They won't give it to you. So you have to kind of use this to get the whole moon. I don't know. Maybe you can find them. If you find them, let me know. I'd like to find them. I'd like to see those myself. Okay, this could be a center. This could be a center, more than likely, at one time, but it's part of the one big impact. This is one big impact. This is one big impact. Copernicus you'll find on the west coast of the United States, right down by Southern California. I'll show you that. So you got to look for those. I mean, Tycho's you can see Tycho, but you can also see a big circular shape around the outside of it. That's how big the impact is, actually. Okay, so North Pole of the moon is I haven't really worked with it at all. I tried for a second, but I didn't really, try any longer. It's probably got some. It doesn't look like it has much activity at the North Pole of the moon. But that could be what they're showing. We don't know. We don't see it, so we don't know. Just like the rest of this, we don't see this. So, and here's another one. Look at this. This one right here. That's one too. That's an old one. It's been covered. Look at how big it is, though, around the outside of it. See the circular shape? That's the whole impact. That's just, that's been covered up. You can tell it's been filled in. Then you can turn on the color global maps if you want. Turn on the colorized terrain, and shows you, see that these are the high areas, so you can see that this has really been covered by the impacts that happen over here. Look at that. That's a big impact. That's not just a bunch of little ones. That's one impact where it hits the Earth, and all these mountains and things on the Earth create these craters on the moon. There's Schrodinger. You'll find that in South America, like the one I was just showing you a minute ago. I think it's Schrodinger. No, that's Apollo. It must have hit where Schrodinger hit before or something. But see, I haven't really worked with. I have worked with this, but since I can't see the double craters, you'll see that at the South Pole of the moon too. And that Schrodinger, that's a copy of Schrodinger, and this is a copy of these two craters at the South Pole. Watch. Turn this off. These two craters here, I think it's a copy of those two craters there, right there, right here. See how these two are right together, right here? You can see this one gets kind of cut off. I'm sure that's the same two craters right there. And this Schrodinger crater is the copy of the Apollo craters, same thing as this one here. Don't hold me to that, but pretty sure I've done it. I've lined it up. But this one right here, you can't. I don't even know what they call this area of the moon. I wish I did. I mean, I know the individual names of some of the craters, but this area of the moon, I can't get a picture of this. I haven't off the internet. I've tried. The only ones you can get are from Google Moon. But this is on the Earth. I have lined this up before. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to put it in the Pacific, and you should be able to put it over somewhere by China. Pretty sure. Okay. I mean, that's one big impact right there. That is one large impact. And this one you'll find, I think, at the Great Lakes right here. This one here. Reverse that. Put that by the Great Lakes. You know the shape of the Great Lakes area? Okay, how it's got that, comes to that point in the front. This is the same shape. Goes around. I put this there before. This fits there real good. We should do it real quick. Yeah, we should do that. Check it out. If I get it to sit still. Save image. Show you how to do this right now. Okay. I'm just going to name it HG, just because that's what my fingers touched. Okay, so go back to the Earth, and we want to go over here to North America, right See that shape right here? This is the with the Great Lakes right in the center. See this shape? Well, yeah, it's going to fit right in there. Just let me get a better angle for you here. Okay, so I got to reverse it first. So what I do is I go like this. I hit this button. This is the overlay button for Google Earth, and it says browse. So I just saved that picture, and it's in my maps folder, and I named it HG. So it's right here. Right click on that, open with Microsoft Paint, if you have it, if you know how to use it, and that should open. There it is. Okay, now what you want to do is just, it depends on the version you have on what it'll look like, but this is what Windows 7. Flip horizontal, go up here, and save it. Okay, then just close it, and then just hit the open button, and of course you're going to have to shrink it down. So you just grab it like this, and you shrink it down, and you shrink it down some more, and then you bring it up here and you turn it around. This little thing here, let me bring it up here and zoom in on it. Do it. This turns it around this way. Then you bring it down a little more. It's probably a little smaller, but still, this is so much bigger than it is. Than they look at this already. This is like 4 times the size they say it is on the moon. Right here, watch. It's going to fit. I've already put it here before. Fits very good. I mean, you just don't get, so many, you're only allowed so many coincidences, is the way I see it. The way I look at that's probably Yellowstone right there. That right there. I've never really zoomed in that close to it. I don't think when I did this before. Could be. It could be just that area right there. Get it lined up first. I should stop looking at that and get the rest of it lined up. I mean, it lines up very good. You can see all these lines, like this line. Just consider this a line, right? Just try to consider that a line, and you get that line on that side lined up, and you can see how it comes up this way. And then you got to kind of back it off and check and see where you're at. Probably needs to be a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit this way. And I thought I had that lined up right there before. But it goes there. You can see that it goes. It's going to go there. You can see that. I mean, I hope you can see that. See the shape, this teardrop shape? It's the same. Same thing. Oh, that's pretty close right there. That's pretty damn close. There's what do they call this area right here? Oh, I'm thinking of a different area. Thought that was Craters of the Moon National Park. Craters of the Moon National Park. You can check out Craters of the Moon National Park. It is absolutely Craters of the Moon, actually, if you think about it. I mean, I'm telling you, people, I wouldn't make this up if I didn't see it pretty clear. Now, I've always looked for this because this always interested me. This big blob right here in the center of this crater. Wow, because I think it's gold. Or quartz or something. It's like gold or quartz. I know gold comes from the moon. I know it does. Or it just comes up. It comes with. It's involved with the impacts. I know that. That's one of the reasons they don't tell us. That's one of the main reasons they do not tell, or they didn't tell us, and they still don't. But I mean, that's why they didn't. Because the people that knew this, the Illuminati, basically, because they're the ones that got rich off it. They knew where to go to find the gold. That's how they knew. That's how they know. They got better pictures of the moon than we do, and they still know. And they think it's safer in the ground nowadays. They just turn it into a national park, and that way no one gets it. It's just there in the ground, national treasure. That's your national treasure. The park itself is nice too, but that's your national treasure. All the gold that they haven't snagged out of the ground, or they probably have, but we haven't been able to. It's off limits, but you see that, right? That is the same thing. Look at these points that come off the edge, and you can see right here the points that come off. This goes here. I know it does. I know it does. It might not be a perfect fit the way I have it right now, but it does go here. Just have to take a good long look at it. Don't hypnotize yourself or anything, but just it doesn't really take that long of a look on this one. This is an easy one. You can see like this where this. I mean, you got to just look at just Realize the details they don't give you. That's the main thing you got to do. You got to understand what they're not showing you in the pictures. The high detail, they're not showing you that. They will not show that all the time. You'll catch where they'll slip sometimes though, and you'll find some stuff. That's a pretty good one right there. It's pretty simple. You can see something happens there. Look at that. Same shape. Then there's a big gold mine right up here in Nevada right there. There's all kinds of stuff in Nevada, gold and silver in Nevada. I mean, you'll find exactly the Carlin Trend. There's one called the Carlin Trend in Nevada. This big crack in the ground where there's just like, it's gold ore. It's an ore mine, but I mean it's a historic mine. And it's like, I don't know where it's. I think it's right here somewhere in this area here or something. A big crack in the ground in Nevada. Might be up here a little higher. But I mean, I've had ones that I've lined up on here, and I don't even remember them. But I've seen it. I know I've seen it, and it just shows that area really bright, really nice. How about this one right here? Check this out. Okay, so this one is what do I call this one? Great Lakes. Okay, the Great Lakes. When you look at look at California. Look at the Sierras right here. You'll see the angle of the Sierras and the Cascades here. Watch. Okay, see that angle with an opening in the center right here? See this like opening area? See that? There's something opens. Here's these, and then it opens here, and then you got these mountains continue here. But you see, there's a break. See the break? Okay, I'm not saying I have it set perfect, but they're at the same angle too. This is the same angle you see here, pretty much. Right? Can't deny that. It's the same angle. Then look at the area right here. This whole area. Look at that. All this down here, the Grand Canyon would be in there. They show you sometimes. You'll see the Grand Canyon a little bit, but they hide that stuff. Because if everybody would do this, I mean, look at, there's a big black spot right there. Look at that dark black line kind of right there. You see that? Look at that. Okay. Look at, there's Yellowstone right there. Look at this right here. Look at this. Okay, look. Try to follow me here. See this curve? This line that curves? This looks like this. Look at this right here. This looks like a dog's head or wolf's head or something, like two eyes and a nose, and it's got this, or a raccoon or something. Got these things around its eyes. But you see this right here? Look at it. It's right there in this picture. Right there. See that? The whole bottom side too. It's in the picture. Look at that. Then you see where all the gold is, what I was trying to get to, that point. But I mean, look at this, is the mother lode right here. That's the mother lode right there. Look at this, is up here in Nevada, or up in Tahoe area, over in the, look at that. That's where they found the most gold in California right here. This is where they found the most gold. This is the mother lode, all this area right here. Look at this. You can see the mother lode. This is look, they mined all this. This has all been like what do they call that? Hydraulic mined. This whole area. I've been through there. I live here, so I mean I've seen all this area. That's the mother lode. There's Yellowstone right here. That's shut down. You can't mine there. So that's. We do have a claim with my prospecting club up in this area in Tuolumne, and I mean, you see when you go up to the places like Yosemite, okay, when you go to places like that, you have to understand that's a magnificent structure. You have to understand there's something happened there, something huge. When you go to the mountains and you see these big boulders everywhere, and look, I went up there and there's rocks up there that I swear were from the moon. They had to be from the moon. They looked. They were the color. They had in the rocks. They had like white on the side of the rocks. They'd have white quartz splashed up on the side of it, just like stuck to the rock, splashed part of the rock now. And they had these little gold specks in them. And I mean, look, those rocks were from the moon. I swear to God. Up there, up by Yosemite, up in that area. You just have to look at the earth you live on, people. You have to understand these are craters. The oceans are full of water and they're deep because they've been hit. This land's been knocked up out of the earth or something from hits on the other side or something, or just something. The volcanoes create the super volcanoes that are created by the impacts create the land. It's moved off the hot spot eventually. I mean, look, Hawaii. Look, I'm going to show you something here. You got to use your own imagination when you try to put the Earth together. That's the whole secret right there. You just can't believe what you're told when it comes to, because plate tectonics is just something that is like an after effect. It's so weak compared to what happens. See, they don't tell you that. You watch the documentaries, they say something happened in Earth's past, but they don't say what it was. They won't tell you what it was. Not in any of them. They leave you hanging, and they don't tell you what it is. Okay, they don't tell you. But you see the Hawaiian island chain right here. Look at this, how it goes like this angle here, and it kind of straightens. And look, right here, there's a line. You can see it starts right here. See this about right here? It comes down. It's underneath these comes underneath these mountains and stops right here. And then this one goes down like this and down to, see where this there's a big volcano here in Mexico, right here. I'm pretty sure, big volcano right there. And you can see there's Hawaii. If I'm gonna just draw a line with my roller here from Hawaii, I'm just gonna follow this line in the ocean. See this line that crosses the ocean right here? I'm just gonna follow that line, and I'm gonna stay on it. I'm gonna stay on it, and there it is. Here, I'm gonna move it down. I gotta move it down a little bit because I went off a little bit, but you still see it. Look. Boom. What if I follow this line right here? Just start right here and just go like this and follow that line. Whoa, it's probably going to take me where it used to be too, because it looks like it moved from, to me these lines look like it moved from here to there with an impact that happened over here. Look at this area of Earth, people. So all this subduction, you think that's created from plate tectonics, just from this ridge spreading that was created by impacts on this side? That created the subduction? That's what creates the subduction. Look at these big circles. These are impacts. This is the deepest place on the Earth. Why do you think it is the deepest place on the Earth? Because it's a big, giant impact by something. Okay, and this is it. I just showed this the other day. We're having all them earthquakes right in this area. That's because it's the dead center of a big, giant impact. Look at the subduction. What creates that subduction? I only can imagine one thing. And this is the only place on Earth where there's subduction like this. Okay, this used to be at the pole or something. This used to be the pole. They say the Pacific or some area used to be the pole. Well, this has been impacted about, in this area, I could count quite a few. One here, one over here, one here, one down here, one over here, all around it. There's impacts all around Australia. That's why Australia looks like it does. Look at Australia, people. It's been practically stripped of everything because it's been impacted all around it. All around it. It must have been at a pole one time or something. It almost looks that way. But I mean, it's been hit all around Australia. And then you go to the other side of the planet, and you have all ridges, mostly. But I do believe there's impacts that happen over here too. But I can't be sure of, well, I mean, I've lined them up over here, but it looks to me more like exit. This is all created from the impacts on the opposite side, it seems. See how it flips? Where was I? I can't remember where I was, but look at this big volcano on this side. Right here. Let's just go to the opposite side and see right where it is. As soon as your roller flips, you're on the opposite side. Look at that. It's right here. That's an impact. Watch, back it off. Just take a look at it. Look at this. It flips right there. Now, just mark it right where it flips. Just mark it right there. And then come up to it and look at around here. There's an impact there. Or it could be this one. But I think, you don't know. You can't be quite sure how it hits every time too in that spot. It may not be a straight-on hit. It may be it may be coming in at an angle. It's going to come in probably at some kind of angle, or who knows? It could be straight on sometimes. Like these ones look like straight-on shots right here. This one here. That one looks like a straight-on impact. And then you see things like like these lines in the ocean. It looks like look at these lines in the ocean. Something moved. That's something moving up or something. These lines that you see in the ocean from impacts, from pushing continents and things up. That's what I see, the way I see it. And then you got Antarctica. You can see weather around the outside of that shows impacts. This has been the pole for a long time. I think this has been the pole. The poles we have now have been the pole for a very long time, because they've been impacted all around the outside and in dead center. And same with the North Pole, right in dead center and all around it, all up here, pole, all these impacts, tons of them. And now some of them are probably the same impact. You can put the continents together, you'll see that some of them are actually the same impact that broke when it broke the continents apart. They were both impacted together at the time of the impact, and you'll see that they could be both the same impact. Okay, you got impacts over here. I mean, just look at the world we live in, people. I mean, seriously, like I said, when you go to the mountains, you have to imagine what created that. What was it? Something incredible happened when that was created. Okay, so you just got to think like that. You got to just, if you start to think like just realize that the moon's hit the earth, and then as the world goes by, you'll see things that just pop out at you like, wow, okay, I got that. That's from the moon. That's from the moon. Stonehenge is from the moon. The Mayan calendar is the Mare Oriental Basin, and all kinds of stuff. You'll see. You'll see a lot of things. Okay, that's it. I wanted to show you that one. I was going to show you that one. I don't like making long videos, but here you go. This Australia one. What you want to look for in the weather. Okay. When you bring up weather with an over, you think you get an over. Like you'll see the weather. I think I lined this up because I went from the opposite side where I went like this. The center of this. I think I got it marked on the opposite side, so you'll see what I'm saying. Maybe. I guess I don't. Okay, but this is the center of that impact that I showed you the other day. That's what it is. The one that I showed, the fault line one, with the New Madrid fault. That video, actually my Moon Truth rant. So that center's right. The center of that other one was right here, and what I did is I went to the opposite side of the Earth to see what would happen if I put it there. And what happened is, you see the weather. Look. So watch this. The weather here. Oh, I wish I quit blinking. See that? How it kind of, all this curves right, and it just kind of fits in there. Watch. It could be coincidence. But then you come back and you look at the curve down here. Wow, that just happens to fit pretty good in place. You just kind of see it fit there, right? I see it. Then you go up here, and you see this curve. You see the curves. You got to look at the curves, and you'll see the whole thing that way. Look at that. We got this little weather. Look at that weather fit right there. Watch. Huh. See what I'm saying? Look at this. You see that there's a line there in the clouds. Look at, there's a line there too. Okay. Sometimes this will show itself, but it's rare that this crater shows itself in the weather, but it does sometimes show itself very well. You'll see that sometimes in the weather very well. But look at this crater here. Look at the weather just come right around that rim of that. Watch. Just like you see it, and it's got the same thing where it would shoot out. You see the same thing right there. Look at that. It's right in place. That's what you look for. You see a round circle of break in the weather, a round break in the weather right there around that crater. That's because it's going around that spot. Because it hit there. You have to use your imagination some, but I mean, once you start to see the shapes of things, I mean, it's not that difficult. Look at that. You know, you look at this, you see that just things. You'll see what I mean. But that's what you look for. You look for edges that are curved. You look for this kind of stuff that fits right in that channel right there. Kind of looks like it fits there to me. You got this angle just stopping right in place. It's this one. This one looks like it might be right there too. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, look at this where it curves. Look at this right underneath it. Boom, right there. Look how it follows that edge, and then it goes across the top and whips up here. You see, what's it do? I see a line that it looks like it could whip right through there to me. You see that, people? That's what I'm trying to say. That's all. You know, something's going on with the images and the weather. Okay? You just flip the moon, check it with the weather, and share what you find. That's what you do. Okay? That's all I'm asking. Share what you find. Because you're going to find stuff, I'm telling you. You're going to find stuff, or I wouldn't waste my time with this. I got lots of other stuff I'm supposed to be doing right now, matter of fact. I hear people pounding out there right now. Okay, gotta go.